Super. Good morning, everybody. Pat Judd and I are very happy to welcome you to these 3 days of celebration of the 50th anniversary of our Department of Psychiatry, and then Department of Psychology joint program, and then a huge number of additional programs that have been very important in healthcare delivery that we are associated with or have started over the years. So, Pat?
Again, just want to welcome everybody here. We're really happy to see you. Mark and I have had fun putting this together most of the time. Not 100%. But anyway, this is a wonderful event, so I hope you all enjoy it.
Super. Thank you. This is an outgrowth, of course, of the fact that almost everyone here in the audience has been contributing to this department over the years. I was fortunate to be the first chief resident. I came here in 1971. I was invited initially by John Feiner, and then thankfully very, very warmly welcomed by Arnold Mandel, and by Sam Barandes, and by Lou Judd. They were the leaders of our department back then, and of course, among them have remained the leaders of our department for many years. The most recent chair we have, and think about this, 50 years of our department, and we've basically had 3 chairs. That's just amazing. And that stability has contributed tremendously to the success of the program here. We were very lucky, Pat and I, that Igor asked us if we would be willing to marshal these celebrations over the 50 years. And for both of us, this has been such a wonderful experience that we both jumped at the chance. Of course, a little bit later this morning, you'll also have the opportunity of meeting our interim chair, a stupendous man who's been the executive vice chair to the department over the last 5 years, and that is Robert Antonelli. But as the first stage in our opening talks today, I wanted to have the opportunity of introducing our chair, who is, in my heart, always one of the triumvirate or quorumvirate at this point, and that is Igor Grant, who will have a few words to say. Igor, there's only 3 minutes. Just joking.
I can reduce the number of slides quickly from the 60 that I have to. Okay, psychiatry. Okay, one of the great innovations of the last 5 years is the official psychiatry hat. Arnold, you're going to get one if you don't have one already. Sam, you too. So, did you say you didn't want it? Oh, no.
I'm counting on it.
Oh, you're counting on it. Okay, great. Obviously, this is a time for us to pause and reflect. Perhaps engage in some self-congratulatory behavior, but not too much, not too much. We don't want to go overboard and get into braggadocio here. To celebrate what's happened. I think it's also a great time to connect and reconnect. We're a very large department now, 200 faculty approximately. And Arnold, you started with 1 faculty member, right, Sam, as I recall. So that's been some significant growth, even if you don't apply statistics, I would say. But with that comes also a need for us to keep finding ways to talk to each other and see, see what we are all doing, see how we can collaborate and maybe solve problems in a new way. So one of the ideas here is not simply to brag about ourselves, but really to establish and reestablish these connections. And I'm very pleased that there are even a couple of medical students here who I guess are on their clerkship, and maybe they were forced and pushed into this, but as a result, I hope you will also learn something about the interesting opportunities in research and treatment in brain behavior and psychiatry generally. The university has posted a nice little article that I just wanted to scroll through. We don't have to read it. Arnold, do you recognize that guy there? So it just talks about a little bit about the foundations of the department and some of the visions that were there. Here's Lou Judd, our second chair, who did so much to forward the basic dream that Arnold brought to the department and expand it tremendously, such that the department was catapulted into premier status within a period of a few years. Igor Grant, you can pass him by, he's there. But then the article goes on and talks just about the myriads of programs that the department has been involved in. And they've just selected a few. The alcohol program, substance disorders, HIV, mood disorders, schizophrenia, healthy aging, and of course, the most important, medicinal cannabis, right there. Also, remind us, we need to be mindful of the great, stop there for a minute, the great partnerships we've had that helped to build this department. And one of the critical ones was the VA. You may hear from others who were VA-based at the beginning that in 1971, the VA just was opening its doors. So that's just a couple of years after the department was founded. And we had to stumble into that place over clods and boulders and things like this. But there we established the core of a wonderful training program and a group of scientists who worked in connection with the VA as well as the university. So, and the programs go on from the very basic research, keep scrolling, to these are always pretty pictures. I'm not sure quite what they show, but they are very good. And at the end of the day, I think what we're looking forward to, at least in part of our path forward, is to develop these strategies of how we bring together basic neuroscience, neurobiology, genetics, and link these to bioengineering, to link these to progress in other areas of science. And this is one thing that I always was impressed by as a younger faculty, is that both Arnold and Lou valued science, and science was not only things you do with juices and centrifuges and things like that. There was science involved in cognitive therapy development, for example. There's science in cognitive science. And there was the science of implementation of treatments. So all of these were brought together in a nice meeting of minds. Okay, have I exceeded my 3 minutes?
I still got a lot more time. Keep
No, I'm going to stop. So at this moment, though, what I would like to also do is introduce or have stand a few people who were here in the first, say, 5 years of the department. And from a faculty standpoint, of course, we have Arnold, who will be our founding chair, who will be speaking momentarily. Then we have faculty number 1, Professor Sam Barandas, right there. He's going to speak soon. And Larry Squire, were you faculty number 2 or close, or number 3? You were among the first 5 or something like that, if I recall. I actually came rather late in 1972. By then there was at least a dozen folks around. And then Mark Schuckett, of course, was here at the beginning. Who are some other faculty that were here right at the beginning? Mark Geyer, yes, thank you, Mark. I actually had you on my list, and now I can't read well, I guess. Mark Geyer, who else was here right at the beginning who might be in the room that could be introduced? I can't see over the lights, so somebody has to point out the person. Hamp Atkinson. Hamp Atkinson was here at the beginning. As my resident, yeah, and look what happened. And then speaking of residents, we do have some trainees of the first period here. Dr. Abrams, where are you? Okay, there. Davis Susskind, there. Who else, please? Oh, Damaderio, yes. Please, who am I missing? There are several people. Bruce Hubbard, yes, thank you, Bruce. We saw you there earlier. Who else? among the first group here. So anyway, you guys turned out okay too. So that was, I mean, they were Arnold's and Lou's early experiment, I think. But I think it turned out fine.